The expression is that we are so back. We're hearing this a lot. We are so back. I have never seen anything like this, my friend. For the next whatever period of time, I'm going to take you down a little road, a little vision, a little trip, and to show you how this president and this administration are doing things as we speak. Trump I'm just getting this across, reviewed or removed Biden's security clearance. He just took over control of the Kennedy Center. Did you see Maxie Pad Waters was going crazy today at the Department of Education? They can't handle this. Do you know what I'm saying? The radical left, the Democrats, don't know what to do. They can't handle this. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I say to you, friends and patriots and defenders of the American dream, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing right now. In moments like this, we are reminded of the immense, the huge, the colossal privilege and responsibility that we have to stand up for our country's greatness. I have told you before that I'm not going to be some glad hander. I'm not going to say everything's groovy and great when it's not. I'm not going to do that. And sometimes in the past, I have made some people mad and hurt feelings when I've said, no, there's a problem. Because I told you exactly what was going to happen in 2020, whether it was stolen or not. And I will always speak to you the truth. So when I tell you things are going great, when I tell you that the progress and what this president has done right now is beyond anything I ever thought even remotely possible. They can't keep track of it. From big balls and Doge to this, I mean, they're freaking out. They're showing up for Maxine Waters, showing up at the Department of Education just to put on some kind of a little show. Do you grasp, dear friends, the progress we are making? It is colossal. So, my friends, do me a favor, sit back, stand back, get ready. We have so much to talk about tonight. So much. We have stories that are going to blow you away. One of the things I wanted to emphasize to you before was food security. And even though this great president is stewarding the helm, and even though he is in charge, I'm telling you right now, they have been planning this. I am saying that we are better off than we've ever been, but do not turn your back on these people, and do not think that everything is not susceptible to problems if we don't pay attention. Like this. My friend, disaster doesn't knock. It kicks the door down when you least expect it. And when it hits the fan, and trust me, it will, food is the first thing to disappear. Now, the question is this. Will you be prepared, or will you be scrambling like everybody else? Okay? Now, think about what I'm saying. This is no exaggeration. I'm here to help. I'm here to give you the honest truth. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to help you. No one's going to be there. The shelves at your local store are going to be emptied within hours. And trucks that should be delivering food will be stuck miles away. You'll be left standing in endless lines, hoping for scraps. But there's something you can do right now. There's a way to stop this nightmare before it stops. Head to preparewithlionel.com. You heard me, preparewithlionel.com. And take advantage of the special monthly offer from My Patriot Supply. Now you can get $50 off the legendary 4-week emergency food kit when you order today. Listen, I can't be any more serious than this. Why My Patriot Supply? Simple. It's a household name for a reason. Millions of families trust them because their kits aren't just about survival. They're about thriving when others are barely holding on. This kit provides over 2,000 calories a day and 12 essential vitamins and minerals. That's the fuel that you're going to need when your body and mind are under incredible pressure. You get meals that taste great, are American made, and last up to 25 years in storage. These aren't bland bunker meals. They're designed to keep you strong and focused when it matters most. But here's the deal, my friend, and listen carefully. Emergencies don't wait, and neither should you. Prepare today or pay tomorrow. Go to preparewithlionel.com now and claim your $50 discount and 6 free bonuses right now before this limited time offer vanishes. I can't emphasize this enough, okay? Because when the world goes dark, preparation is the only light you can count on. My friend, let me say right now, it is imperative again. Let me repeat this. Let me make sure you understand the notion. We are reminded right now, always, of the immense, the incredible, the immense, the colossal privilege that we have as American citizens in particular, and that we must stand up and tell people things are going great when things are going great. Do not be in the position of thinking that we're always going to pick out little nitpicky things. Not that you're doing this, but sometimes I hear different shows, and what they're doing is they're doing these weird, sort of strange things, and these strange versions of, I don't know what the word is. How do I say this? They like to point incremental aspects out, incremental stories, and those are important. Absolutely important. But my friends, we must get down to business right now. So listen carefully. Listen to what we're talking about, because nobody's really pointing this out. We are in right now in the midst of a monumental rebirth, for lack of a better word. I know these words. You know what? It might sound kind of crazy. It might sound like I'm some sort of a, and this is not me. Things are that great. A rebirth. You heard me. A revolution. A renaissance. By a man who survived political assassinations, character attacks, lawfare, you name it. Do you understand what this man has done? It's for 4 years. For 4 years, America's languished in what can only be described as some kind of weird form of learned helplessness. I'll explain that. Not the Stockholm syndrome, learned helplessness. It's the most important, the most critical thing in the world for you to understand. Under Joe Biden's administration, we lost more than jobs and economic stability. We lost something deeper. We lost our national pride. Do you remember how people gave up? They were listless and sad. Gave up. We watched these ridiculous figures, these shadowy kind of folks in the deep state and the media elite and the shadow government. They all colluded together and they worked to get this president. We couldn't believe it. We thought to ourselves, can he possibly fight back? They all worked together collectively to undermine everything that made this country great. I think back and I can't believe what we've been through. Just the other day, our military was weakened. Our borders were erased, gone, erasure of borders. Schools became battlegrounds for indoctrination. Our kids, do you remember, instead of learning math and science and civics, they were subjected to drag shows and radical gender ideology? It's gone. How much more could we have taken? Black Lives Matter, Antifa, that's who they have to go. Please, President Trump. Please, President Trump. Our good friend right now, our good friend Chrysler Hastings joins us. Thank you, Chrysler. Nelson A says, Mr. L, Mr. Delta tonight for Ventilation Fridays. Whatever happened to dock strike? I hope that is indeed done. Do you think they would be stupid enough to try this now? I don't know. I don't know. It's looking far better than it did before, my friend. And Ventilation Friday indeed returns next week. So thank you for your kind words. Our streets were hit with fentanyl. Do you know, have you noticed how everything, every cop, every ambulance driver, everybody who takes packages, everybody at Amazon, everybody at our doormen around New York and in apartment buildings and They all have to wear gloves. Gloves. Because of the powerful, toxic danger, the horrors of fentanyl. Just a grain of this, and it's over. This poured over the borders, killing thousands of Americans every year. Kids in particular, a lot of them not even looking for drugs. They thought it was an aspirin. They thought it was a Tylenol. It was out of control. It was somebody trying to kill us. Do you remember this? Remember the opioid crisis? And through it all, the radical left, the Democrats, told us, sit back, comply, and wear a mask. Just shut up and wear a mask. We were told to trust Dr. Fauci. If this man does not end up in prison, if this man is not arrested and carted away, there is no God, there is no justice, there is nothing. There is nothing. I can think of, and most people can think of, 10, 15 federal crimes. What he did, he had this sense of immunity. The reason why he did this, my friend, was because he realized, I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. The same man, Fauci, who misled and lied to the nation and lied to Congress and lied to you and lied to Rand Paul, and lied to everybody. The same guy who lied about the origins of COVID. We know where that came from. We were saying that from day one. But they were so good because they said, we're immune from perjury. We'll just say whatever we want. He lied about the efficacy and the effectiveness of masks. He lied about the dangers of untested, unqualified, as Bobby Kennedy said, vaccines. He lied. We were told to just accept the lockdowns, accept the mandates, accept the loss of your civil liberties, all in the name of this public safety. Remember this? Could this ever happen again? You better make sure that we fix it so that it never can happen again. But the real tragedy, and this is the part that I think is so critical, the real tragedy wasn't just the economic devastation. Remember the closed businesses, the businesses that never came back again. The people who moved away, it uprooted everything. Businesses, family businesses, small people who couldn't leave. Remember people who couldn't go to see their parents buried, couldn't go to funerals, weddings, kids who couldn't graduate, people who lost scholarships. I mean, we will never, ever be able to understand the total of this. And no, the real tragedy, as I'm telling you right now, is the destruction of common sense. That's the part that blows me away. Common sense. We just lost it. The ability just to say, this is nonsense. This is bullshit. Didn't handle it. Parents who dared question school closures or vaccine mandates were labeled domestic terrorists. Remember that? By Merrick Garland's DOJ. Now it's Pam Bondi's DOJ. But remember that? Churches shuttered, closed, boarded up, while liquor stores remained open. Remember that one? I sat back and I'm thinking, I cannot believe this. Drag queens welcomed into classrooms. Drag queens. Pastors threatened with arrest for holding services. One of the fellows who was originally selected for President Trump's, I forget what it was, DEA or something, Hillsborough County Sheriff, they pulled that one when they found out that he was rather a little too aggressive in shutting down a particular church. Remember that story? Remember that one? There was also, by the way, is Dan Bongino going to be up for anything? Are they, have you heard anything about this? I think he'd be very good at this. I think we need to have people who are forthright. It's very odd because normally pretty much everybody's been mentioned and I don't know. Ben Carson, did Ben Carson do something? I don't know. I got to see a full roster. Everybody following me, my friends? It's pretty incredible, isn't it? And yet here we are today. Here we are today, standing at the precipice, standing at the top of the mountain of a new, and you can do whatever, a new dawn, a new day, a dawn ushered in by President Trump, whatever, but that's exactly what it is. The MAGA movement, Doge. It's wonderful. Elon Musk. President Trump is tackling, I can't keep track. Right before, as I'm going on, I see Biden stripped of his security. He's tackling everything you can imagine. Everything the radical left, everything these demons have thrown at us for the last 4 years, and he's just getting started. Sanctuary cities, illegal immigration, fentanyl trafficking, transgender athletics, men competing against women. He's tackling it all. He's not even done yet. It's not even. It's just 2 weeks. It's a whirlwind. It's a blur. It's a blur. Because this isn't just about fixing policy. It's about restoring American identity. Pilgrim says, "Is Dog Man out of the Marines?" LOL. Dog Man. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Daniel Williams. Daniel, welcome. Daniel, you have a lot of explaining to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The issues before us right now, again, I'm reading through all this because they're going crazy. We got big balls in Doge. Did you see Maxie Pad Waters today? She's 86 years old. She's got a $5 million house. She's got, she had her, I mean, where this broad got the money, I mean, she is a walking, how she's not indicted, how per se corruption, I have no idea. I'm not talking about something else, which is the most important. And I'm sorry, this is me. Forgive my excitement. Forgive my elation. Forgive my fanaticism. But let's talk about the collapse of the mainstream media, which I'm going to be talking about, by the way, dear friends, at the Cutting Room on February the 22nd at the Cutting Room here in New York City. An evening of fun, frolic, mirth, mayhem, and mischievous, or as people say, mischievous, which is incorrect. It's mischievous, but that's a different story. February 22nd, the tickets are available. You can see the little reference in the section below. Now, for years, my friend, the media, these people have been, they have been a personal source of fun and excitement for me. Because I've been in it for so long, I've seen it transpire, transpose, transmogrify. I've seen it collapse and just lose all sense of bearing. And for years and decades, these folks served as the mouthpiece of the radical left. They were the proxies. They were the spokespersons. They lied about January 6th. They lied about it like you can't believe. How about that Project 2025? How much you want to bet Project 2025 is being implemented now? How much you want to bet? Anybody? Anybody? I don't care. You should tell. Oh, by the way, it's Project 2025. Whatever that is, nobody even read it. The Trump-Russia collusion, white supremacy. Have you ever been called a white supremacist? Remember these jadrules. Remember there was this apotheosis of the militant black lunatic. Not that black people are lunatics. Not that black people are militants. But the militant black radical left, sometimes subliterate nut. Put them together. And it wasn't just DEI. Oh, no. Tiffany Henyard was elected. Fannie Willis was elected. These people were elected. Lori Lightfoot, Brandon Johnson. These are people who were elected. They're incredible. Hakeem Jeffries, we have here. This is just now. Trump revokes Biden's security clearance. He's a maniac. As we speak right now. Listen, if anybody deserves to have it revoked, it's him. And also remember, past presidents get security briefings daily. It's one of the perks, not him. I don't think. Right now, the media, this corrupt media, their empire, ladies and gentlemen, is crumbling. LA Times, CNN, MSDNC, LA Times in particular. They're going full MAGA. They're having a meltdown. These rancid, fetid, feculent outlets of mendacity are losing viewership and readership and audiences by the millions, hemorrhaging in free fall as Americans wake up. But by the way, as they realize that we haven't woken up, I think America's always been like this. I think that the only reason, agree with me or not, the only reason that Joe Biden ever won was because he stole the election. And the only reason he stole the election was because he can steal the election. And the only reason he stole the election and could steal the election was because he had deep state and shadow government controls over this. That's what they did. And it's about the media. It's not just about the lies. I mean, that's a big deal. It's about the damage those lies cause. Lies are one thing, but, damage? They fueled division. They destroyed. They hammered a wedge into our world. They normalized and sanctioned and okayed lawlessness, rampant wild criminality. This apotheosis, this beatification of people like George Floyd, this jadrul, this dope addict who most probably just OD'd, this fool, this hominid, this guy, I can't breathe, or if you can say it. Anyway, that's moot. We went through the hell because of that, because they said, by the way, this is an official sanction. Okay, go. And they were ready to go. And the police just looked the other way. They made ordinary Americans feel like strangers in their own country. No more. You got that? Are you following that? That's over with. It's done. Trump is back in action. And by the way, this Trump has nothing to do with the Trump you ever saw before. This Trump is new and improved. This is double barrel. This is turbocharged. Trump back in action is the most. We're seeing right now the media lose its grip on what was their national narrative. When USAID exposed corruption within the media's ranks, it was a turning point. Or when we found out that they did it, Americans realized they were not alone. They realized that their concerns, their worries about election integrity and COVID and all this nonsense, that they were true. And the radical left, these folks, I'm telling you right now, they said and they were part and parcel of this. They aided and abetted what I'm telling you is the truth. This is the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you understand? And you're going to be listening to this later. You're going to be listening to this right now. You're going to be listening later on. You're going to say, he's right, because I am right. President Trump's efforts to restore law and order have been incredible, sending shockwaves through the nation. Let me stop for 1 second, my friend. I got to catch your breath. It's very difficult for me to explain to you how incredibly excited I am now. I mean excited. Because I have never felt that we were going to win like I do now. Never. But first this. When it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with MyPillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. My Pillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. Just now as we speak, I'm reading about how Elon and Vance reinstated on the Doge team a young man who was ousted before because he may have used terms that might have been deemed racist or something along those lines. And what they did was they said, well, he might have made a mistake, but why are we going to ruin somebody's life? And they basically brought him back. George Keane says, will DJT win more court challenges than lose? Absolutely. Pilgrim Media says, I believe it was fate that kept him alive to win. Fate? You believe it was fate? Or was it the hand of God? Was it a deliberate intervention on the part of God? You tell me. I've never been good at telling you why something happened. Because we play this game after the fact. Well, it's obviously fate. Well, what if it was President Kennedy? Man, that's a different story. I mean, I don't know. I will leave you, kind sir, to that. I've never been good at this. But what I am good at is pointing out when President Trump is doing a great job. You right now, what he is doing to restore law and order, this has sent shockwaves through the nation. Shockwaves. Sanctuary cities are right now no longer safe havens for criminals. Do you know what that means? Local law enforcement is being empowered and allowed to do their job for the first time without fear of political retribution, or reprisal, or problem. Sexual batterers, murderers, drug traffickers, who once exploited our broken immigration system. Are you seeing what's happening right now? Are you watching? Hope you follow me on X at Lionel Media. They're covering these ICE raids, and they are absolutely incredible. The wall is being built. Remember, build a wall, drain the swamp, lock her up. She's gone. Hillary's gone. Nobody even cares about her anymore. Fauci's the one they need to get. And this wall, by the way, is more than just some, philosophical or theoretical or some kind of a symbolic barrier. It's a statement of national sovereignty. I can't say that enough. And then there's the cultural shift. For too long, my friends, we have been watching as radical activists, crazies, lunatics redefine our values, turning our schools, public schools, into indoctrination centers where where our innocent children are forced to watch this lunacy and forced to listen to this, seeing 6'4" John Waters dystopian divine characters coming in under the DEI. You are not going to hear. DEI is DEAD. It is through. It is done. It's the idea of hiring prioritized ideologies. It's done. It's finished. The military the military was weakened incredibly by virtue of policies that allowed unfit soldiers to serve based on gender identity and whatever it is. I still don't know what that's about. I still don't know how million and that anyway. By the way, remember the old Secretary of Defense? He was out for what, a week or so? Some kind of prostatectomy or something. Nobody even cared. Nobody even knew he was gone. Were we combat ready? That's the whole reason to have a military. But Trump right now is reversing the madness. Transgender policies in the military are gone, rolled back, expunged, ablated, excised, through, finished. He has guaranteed, ensured you, ladies and gentlemen, you, Mr. and Mrs. America, that our armed forces remain the strongest and most capable in the world. I hope we don't need them. I hope we don't need them, because we would only need them in the case of war. And I sure as hell, I'm telling you right now, President Trump, you are not going to send them to Israel. Period. You know that. I know that. It's a hell of a game. I understand why you're doing it. We're also witnessing right now a renewed appreciation for, and this is important, listen to me carefully, Christianity and faith. This is not a Christian country. Article 11, I believe, of the Treaty of Tripoli says that. We have the separation of church and state. But this is a country where the vast majority of citizens are of faith, and the vast majority of those of faith are Christian. That's a reality. That's just a demographic. And their faith has to be respected. And they can't be shut down. We went crazy over anti-Semitism. Crazy over this. That's another thing. Don't get me started with that. There are people who basically had a position, many of them, being anti-Israel is not anti-Semitic. And another thing too is if you're anti-Semitic, and you don't threaten anybody, if you're anti-Semitic, anti-Muslim, anti-Catholic, anti-Baptist, anti-Christian, and it's just an idea, it's just a thought, that deserves protection as well. If you threaten somebody, it's a different story. So Trump announced a presidential task force to combat anti-Christian discrimination within the federal government. It's about time. Show the same amount of attention and care that you show if this was some LGBTQ, whatever it is. That's what he needs to do. This is monumental. For too long, Christians were mocked, silenced, sidelined, just disregarded completely. And under President Trump's leadership, that has changed drastically. George Lenz, ladies and gentlemen, says, the conversation has changed and the Democrats insist on competing with the script that is no longer relevant. They are apoplectic. Indeed, and nobody cares. But the best part is, George, no one cares. And thank you. No one cares. And I don't think they know this or not, but churches are being reopened. Religious liberties are being restored. Faith is being recognized as the bedrock of our nation's moral compass. You could say, you call it whatever you want. This is, it sounds corny what I'm saying. It does, but it's true. Maybe it's corny because it's true. And let's not forget something else. The importance of the fight against transgender ideology and the infiltration of it into women's sports. This is the issue that most people understand because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. For years, my friends, female athletes, women with uteruses and fallopian tubes and a whole 9 yards, with vulvae and pudenda, they were forced to compete against men, not biological males, men. They lost scholarship, records, opportunities. It was the most, and you wonder why? Who is pushing? It was a desire on the part of the deep state and the shadow government to destroy everything. Competition, sports, entertainment, name it. But Trump is putting an end to this injustice. He understands that protecting women's sports is it's more than just being fair. It's more than just about sports. It's about protecting the integrity, listen to me, of biological reality. Do you hear me, Katie? You hear me, Romano? Do you hear me, Dusty? Rick? You hear what I'm saying? Stan? You got that? It's about biological reality. It's about common sense. Do I make myself clear, Savior? You got it? You following this? Pay attention. Pay attention. There will be a test. And you better go out into the world and tell people about this. Now remember, as our good friend George Lenz says, they're apoplectic. Their alarm is frenetic, paroxysmal. The radical left is losing its mind. They don't know how to respond to a leader who actually follows through on what he promises, who has a plan, who has a worldview. They don't know what to do. They're freaking out. I say, good. Let them freak out. They thought they could destroy Trump with impeachments, assassination attempts, bogus investigations, lawfare, the January 6th witch hunt, Pissgate. Remember that? I still don't know what the hell that was about. But Trump survived it all. Survived it. Survived the deep state's attempts to silence him. And now he's stronger than ever. Hunter Biden scandals are finally being exposed. The Biden family corruption is no longer a conspiracy theory. It's a matter of record. It's a matter of public record. After all, what's he getting a pardon for if he didn't do anything wrong? And the American people are demanding right now for the first time accountability. And I'm going to talk about the Rona, about COVID mania, about the 19. Hey, 19. That was the catalyst for much of the chaos we endured under Biden. George Lenz says, Larry Fink tried to force change. Back at you now. Mr. Fink and Mr. Blackstone, Mr. BlackRock. Indeed, sir. You are so correct about that. COVID. Couldn't talk about it. Couldn't say it. Unless you just nod your head, take your booster, take your shot, shut up, put on your mask, and shut up. Shut up. Trust the science. Trust the science. Shut up. Watch what you say. You lose this. You lose that. You lose. COVID was a catalyst that much of this lunacy was all about. It exposed the incompetence, the corruption of this, I don't know what you want to call them, bureaucratic class, the big tech, big science, big pharma, I don't know. But the CDC and Fauci and all of those little lemmings and all of those subsidiaries, the public health officials and all the locals, they abuse their power to the extent of being criminal. They abuse their power. They push dangerous, untested vaccines, endless booster shots, while silencing anyone who dared question them. Question. We're shutting down speech. Say something about Israel, you're an anti-Semite. And you'll get Elise Stefanik after you. Question this, and you don't trust the science. I mean, I've never heard anything like it. All we do is is question science. That's all we do. Whether it's methylene blue or gentian violet or whatever that, we're always talking about carbs and this and diet and this, or whether this is good, should we do that? Should you fast? Intermittent fasting? What about fasting? What about water? Should you drink water? You can have too much water. That's all we do. We talk about it. We don't do anything, but we just talk about it. Where was the leadership during the pandemic? It wasn't about managing a crisis. It was about exposing the rot, the filth, the putrid rot from within these institutions. And now, with Trump back at the helm, and they are absolutely freaking out over Bobby Kennedy. God, I love to. The fact that they're losing their minds, and keep an eye on what I'm telling you. Jack Schlossberg, Caroline Kennedy's son, if this guy doesn't get thrown into rehab, a mental hospital or something, there are more red flags that are going up, and a lot of people are worried about him. And you can just see it. You can just tell. Trump's in charge. He's back. And the lessons of the Rona are being applied to ensure that American people will never again lose their freedoms under the the guise and this fiction of public health. And let's talk about the role of the judges, right? And the mayors and the decline and the local affiliates and the like. Radical leftist judges let criminals walk free. Mayors turned a blind eye to riots. They counted. Even who was it? That prick, Don Lemon. He said, "No, I don't see anything they're doing. It's wrong. I don't see any type of. I don't see. Do you see any kind of? I don't see. It just seems like people are protesting. Remember that one? They felt like we could say whatever we want. We're going to be in charge forever. Oh no, you're not. Right now, under President Trump and Tom Homan and Pam Bondi and others, that era is coming to an end. Judges who prioritize criminals over victims are being held accountable. And mayors in particular, mayors and local officials who allowed their cities to descend into chaos, who pushed this, like de Blasio and others, and Eric Adams, no bond, no cash bond. Hey, let them go. What are you going to do? We're not gonna... And DAs like Alvin Bragg and others, part of that Soros contingent, oh, they're gone. We were descending into chaos. This is incredible. Now with federal intervention and Trump, it's fantastic. Restoring law and order. Restoring, what is it, class? Common sense. You got it? That's what we're talking about. But the most important thing, is President Trump restoring hope. How long did you feel that there was no hope? How? Unscheduled said, did you see that Andrea Mitchell retired? She didn't retire. She was booted. Nobody retires from that gig. Nobody retires. You don't do anything. They'll do it until they're in a hospital bed. Don't ever say retired. Don't ever. What do you think this is about? Did you ever lose hope? Did anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody? Stan, did you? Did you do it? Stan, did you do it? Anybody? Is it me? Pete? Anybody? Anna? Did you? Did you ever find yourself? I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how this thing is. I'm not sure about this. I am not sure about this. For 4 years at least, we were told to accept decline as the new normal. Remember that one? Remember that MP? Remember that Stanley? Remember that? Remember that Haddad? Remember that? They were told that open borders, economic stagnation, cultural decline, a lack of unity, a lack of hope. All of this was normal. It was inevitable. What are you going to do? To get used to it. But Donald Trump said no. He said no. Make America great again. I don't think it was ever at this level. And Trump right now is proving that the narrative on their part was wrong. He's showing us right now, as I said, as we speak, he's recalling Biden's security. I love that. He's working on the Lincoln Center. Remember how every year they would give these awards, the Kennedy Center honors and all this bullshit. Trump, nobody would do it. It's a different story now. It's a different story. A big different story. And let me tell you something. We're not talking about something abstract. We're not talking about some, nostalgic, some archaeolatory. Archaeolatory. It was a word I read today. It was very interesting. A love of old. It's like archaeology, archaeolatory. Anyway, check that out. Remember, new words, my friend. Take them. They're free. You don't have to. Any word you want to know, take them. It's used. You understand? You have to. Don't ever say you stop paying attention for your sanity. Don't ever let me hear anybody say that you stopped paying attention, or you gave up, or you shut, or you should. Don't ever let me hear that. Don't ever let me hear it. You can never stop paying attention. You cannot stay care. You can don't listen. Don't lose your mind. Daniel Williams, by the way, says, I'm hearing therapist offices are triple booked in D.C. and around the country with extreme cases of TDS by the Dems. It's delicious. It is. It absolutely is. It's and you know what? You don't look like a Daniel, but then again, it's a thumb. It's a thumb. What do I know? Who knows? But thank you. It's true. These people are losing their minds. They're losing their minds. And it's good, like you said. Look at the athletes competing. Leah Thomas. Wait till they say, "Give me your medals back," and get the hell out of here. Give me your medals. Take it down. Get out. That I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Remember that? Who was that? What was that? That Bud Light. Remember that twit? That titmouse. What was that guy? Gavin. Whatever that was. Remember this? But they had this transgender, and Broadway's still fighting to put this thing through. Vogue Mouse. Screw Vogue Mouse. I better never hear that Melania Trump ever steps one foot near Vogue magazine. And if I find out the Vogue magazine received a penny from USAID, they got to claw it back. Right now, there's a renewed sense of patriotism. I love this. From all kinds of people, black people, white, gay, straight, but it's wonderful. So to those folks who doubted, for those of you who lost faith, for those of you who worried, who feared, for those of you who believed the lies of the mainstream media, for those of you, maybe not you, but others who said, well, maybe, it's time right now to recognize something. Donald Trump didn't just survive the onslaught of attacks. He didn't just dodge a bullet. He thrived. This is how great this guy is. And now he's leading us into a future, into a path, into a trajectory where American greatness isn't just a slogan, it's reality. I believe that from the bottom of my heart. And my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, the battle isn't over. Just get ready. Wait till you see all that's happening. We are no longer victims. There's no more hopelessness. You are no longer the victims of the radical left and all this stuff. It's a different story. We are the victors. We are the champions, to refer to Mr. Mercury, in this fight for freedom and prosperity and common sense, national pride. And with Donald Trump leading the show, I can't say enough. We will not only recover from this horror and the damage and the nightmare, we're going to emerge stronger, prouder, better, more powerful, more efficient, more greater, right? It's not an expression. I mean it. I mean it like I've never meant it before in my life. And it's not just about, hey, let's talk about him. No, it's not just about how great he is. It's how we're winning. I don't care who does this. If it's him, great. If J.D. Vance does it, great. I don't care. I don't have anything of. I love Trump personally, but it's not about him. He's doing what we need, and the Democrats are going to win. Anyway, you feel better? You feel better? The UK we got to work on next. Our brothers and sisters with that, like Keir Starmer. Oh dear God, we have got to get rid of him. Chrysler, Hastings, and Nelson, and Pilgrim, and Daniel, and George Keane, George Lenz, Danny Williams, my friend, thank you. Thank you for this. I hope you feel better. I do. I feel like $1 million. Follow me on Twitter at Lionel Media. I am in an X or a tweet storm, the likes of which I'm a machine. Because I must be heard. That's what I do. I must be heard. My friends, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Follow Lionel Legal. Follow Lionel Nation. And make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter, information, email, whatever you want to call it. And don't forget, February the 22nd, just 15 days away at the Cutting Room in New York City. Hope to see you there. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious time. Don't ever change and mean that sincerely. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.